who Phil Knight, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk all have in common? Apart from founding the most successful companies,
I just got invited to give the commencement address at Harvard this year.
That's amazing.
I remember you did it 10 years ago when Priscilla graduated. I was there.
in history, they're all renowned for their unique hiring strategy. But what if I told you that you can hire just like these business titans without the billions in your bank? If you're intrigued, let's dive in. Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike. In the early days, Knight didn't have a ton of money to hire the best of the best, but instead, he looked for people who loved sports and running as much as he did. In fact, his first hires were friends and people he knew from running. Knight's way of hiring is to find people who are self-motivated and can roll with punches and aren't afraid to mess up. And why? Because he thinks it's important to learn from mistakes and come back even stronger. He values resilience and the ability to bounce back, which makes a lot of sense when you're trying to build a brand as big as Nike. Then you've got Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder. Mark didn't want any people who were just good at coding. He was looking for people who were as excited about connecting the world as he was. A lot of the people he first hired were his friends from Harvard and people he knew well. Zuckerberg isn't the type to sit back and let others do the hiring for him. No, he is super involved in the process. He's even been known to take people who might work at Facebook and then take them to a walk on the park and chat about what Facebook is trying to do and see if that person is really excited about the mission like he is. And one thing Zuckerberg often says is hire people who you would work for. What he means by this is that every person he hires should be someone who inspires him, someone he can learn from, and maybe even someone who could be his boss one day. Next, you've got Bill Gates, Microsoft founder. Right out the gates, Bill really values smart people who can learn new things super fast. When he first started Microsoft with his buddy Paul Allen, they looked for programmers who not just loved playing around with software, but were really smart and quick learners too. Bill would ask tricky questions to see how people think and solve problems, not just to see how clever they were, but also how creative they could get with their solutions. And in the early days, he wanted to make sure he hired the right people himself. And he would read every single job application that came in and even talk to the candidates personally. And this helped Microsoft grow and become super successful. Next, you've got Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon. And when he first started, he hired people he already knew, like friends and family. Can you see a pattern developing? His first few staff were computer programmers that he personally knew. And Bezos is famous for really taking his time when he interviews people for a job. He even had a rule called the 2 pizza rule. This rule meant he'd only hire enough people that could share a meal with just 2 pizzas. And this helped keep his team small and quick, and let them come up with cool, creative ideas without too many people talking at once. And now, when Amazon looks to hire people, they keep 3 important rules in mind. Hire and develop the best, insist on the highest standards of work ethic, and big thinkers. Bezos is always looking for people who really believe in these 3 big rules. And finally, you've got Elon Musk, founder of Tesla and SpaceX. Getting hired by Musk isn't easy. He's known for interviewing people himself and asking really tough questions that test how you think and solve problems. And from the get-go, Musk wasn't just looking for people with fancy degrees or big resumes. Nope, he was looking for people who were really excited about what his company was doing, no matter their background or where they came from. As the wise old Albus Dumbledore once said, it matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. So basically, Musk is more interested in what you can become and how much you can learn rather than what you already know or where you went to school. And based on all of these principles, we're going to talk about how to hire for your business. And guess what? You don't need a multi-billion-dollar empire to do it. So take notes. Tip number 1. You know what's surprising? You don't always need the most experienced person for a job. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, right? But think about it. Richard Branson, the mega rich owner of Virgin Group, knew absolutely nothing about airlines when he started Virgin Airlines. He just had a bunch of passion and was super frustrated with the way that airlines were. So remember, you're looking for fire and potential, not just a fancy resume. Tip number 2. Here's something else to chew on. The best person for the job might not be someone who fits in seamlessly. Sure, it's awesome to have a team that vibes together, but the coolest ideas often come from a bit of tension, from different ways of looking at things. Just take Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, the guys who built Apple. They were total opposites, but they made it work. So don't be scared of people who think a bit differently, they might just take your business to new heights. Tip number 3. Now, here's something that might blow your mind. Money is not the be-all and end-all. Yeah, everyone likes getting paid, but things like a good work-life balance and chances to grow and getting recognized and feeling a sense of purpose are really important. Take Google, for example. They give their employees a ton of perks and have one of the highest employee retention rates in tech. And I get it, you might not be a tech giant, but think about what unique things you can offer to stand out in your field. Tip number 4, here's something you should know. The internet is like a treasure chest of talent. Websites like LinkedIn, Indeed, Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer.com, they can all help you find the right people. Don't forget about Facebook groups and Twitter and online job fairs or webinars. Tip number 5, one more thing, networking is cool. Go to events, chat with people, see what's out there, and who knows, your next superstar might be a friend of a friend who's looking for a new gig. Tip number 6, have you ever thought about internships? Because colleges and universities are full of people who are super eager and willing to work hard. Mark Zuckerberg hired loads of his team from intern programs. So don't be scared to hire fresh graduates or people with less experience. They're usually cheaper and keen to learn and might just bring some fresh ideas to your team. Tip number 7, and if you're just starting out, think about swapping services with other businesses. If you need a web designer, find one who needs what you're selling and then make a swap. And tip number 8, make your workplace about more than just a paycheck. Build a culture that values good work-life balance and chances to grow and recognition and purpose. Give people a reason to stick with you. And last but not least, tip number 9. Be brave. Don't let fear of the unknown or fear of causing a stir stop you from hiring someone who could totally change the game for your business. It's your adventure, so go for it. So I hope you've learned a thing or two today about the art of hiring. Hit the like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe for more business tips. And if you have any further questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you.